Gaimano, and Mayon Hukulokra. And also want a family drilling company limited for Kana.
What's it then? Family Drilling Company Limited.
Ye two borehole, biofuel, biogas, swimming pool, plumbing works in Naso, ye be, Frey 0240 333 111 and Nasa 0244 144 822.
Miampa and you want swimming pool me fee. Me want to will be family drilling now. Family drilling. Me out
Welcome back again to Talk Time, and today we're talking about traffic in all of its ramifications. And we have a very exceptional privilege. We have with us in the studio somebody who knows it all, somebody who is familiar with the problems with traffic. And we're going to be talking to Superintendent Alexander Kweku Obeng. Now, Superintendent Alexander Kweku Obeng happens to be the Director of Research and Education of the MTTU.
It's now D.
MTTD. So, sir, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you. I'm Kwesi.
Now, what is your role? We know that you're a director with responsibility for education and research. What does that entail? What is that role?
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and let me also extend my appreciation to viewers on Pan-African across the world to always staying glued and also contributing to the pursuit of greater freedom for Africans all over and the world. Having said that, my role can best be situated if you appreciate what traffic police saw about its evolution and where we are and where the world and therefore Ghana intends going. It's nothing but the fact that as humans on this earth, because of our ingenuity, be able to live as gregarious in terms of living in colony, and in the process of using resources optimally to promote public health and safety. It is that light that not long ago, vehicle construction was invented, and such artifacts were made. At the same time, road construction also commenced, and Ghana, that time, during the colonialists, we were not left out. And just as we were preparing for independence, Ghana came up with the first road traffic ordinance, number 55, which was made in 1952. Basically, the act specifically outlined standards regarding road construction, vehicle construction standard, and driver training standards, and use of vehicle standards, among others. And out of that, when that law was made, definitely there was the need to have a public enforcer. So at that time, motor traffic and transport unit was conceived, and that law was handed over to the Inspector General then to also come up with a department or unit within the police force at that time, now police service. And that unit has evolved into Motor Traffic and Transport Department. Basically, our responsibility in this law, and basically let me say that the law has also evolved. That from ordinance now we have Road Traffic Act 63, which was amended in 2004, and the law that took us to right-hand drive in 1974, 6 August, has also evolved in 2012 to Road Traffic Regulation LI 2180. This is what is guiding, and this is what has been gazetted and given to police in the objectives are outlined, that the traffic law enforcer should ensure that it collaborates with other agencies to ensure that road construction standards are complied with. Vehicle construction standards are complied with. And therefore, within it, you can talk about urban road standards, highway standards, and Ghana Feeder Road Department standards in terms of road construction are complied with by road users. And of course, issues relating to ensuring that drivers comply on daily basis as on the road. And in case of infraction, looking out to arrest. And in case of incidents of preventable crashes, deploying to go and assist injured, collaborating with other emergency stakeholders. And then, of course, ensuring that you do in situ investigation to establish the cause and the way forward. And if you have to be adversarial, you proceed to court. And then collaborating with others to deliver tow service to support those whose vehicles are stuck and posed in danger. And also, out of our enforcement strategies and efforts, we share whatever that we have. For example, between January this year and May, we have put out that 1,250 Ghanaians have died. We want to share with stakeholders to share how it happened and the way forward. In this slide, the Motor Traffic and Transport Matter Law Enforcer within the Ghana Police Service, having evolved in 1952 to date, we have also been able to train, clothe, deploy skillful traffic police officers in all the 17 police regions, and then our divisions and districts and stations, and even at certain places, accident squads will deploy enforcement teams on the road to support and deliver these services. And out of this, at the department, we have our Director General, we have other supporting directors, and I'm one of them. And my responsibility clearly is how to do with research. You should be able to know the trends of behaviors of people, because studies have shown, and it is in the literature, that it takes 3 things to compromise safety on the road. And therefore, the road is critical, the vehicle is critical, and the road user, the driver among others. And everything you want to do, it should be data-led, because out of these 3, human behavior accounts for about 90% of all crashes. So you always need a continuous research in order to inform, particularly police, because sometimes police, we cannot rely on external entity for direction as to what to deploy, what to do in terms of utilizing the scarce public resources in achieving immediate safety, problems. And therefore, within the department, we need such a capacity, so that as it is happening, January, we have said January to May, we have fatalities around 1,250. That never happened in the history of this republic. And therefore, what do? Do we wait for the universities and all that to come out of research before we know how? Do we wait for Building and Road Research Institute or Ministry of Science to come up before we act? No, police globally, we act on our feet. And therefore, you should naturally have the capacity within your department to think through system, to do empirical research, to compare ideas and look at immediately what can be done. What are the factors responsible? What are the countermeasures that immediately can be deployed, whilst others will have the comfort of doing further research? So that will play a very role. When we do those research, we don't keep it. Quickly, when we do our operational order, and we come out with countermeasures, and there are certain times we have to engage stakeholders, including those who have clued us, the Ghanaian public, and for them to share in what you are doing, to warn them, and to assure them that without them there can be safety service delivered on the road. So we educate and we share information also with other stakeholders, like road safety. It's only here, National Road Safety Authority coming up, sharing with the media, that between January this year and May, this and so crashes. It is coming from our desk, and that is where I operate. And also, I'm here, for example, we must share. And again, internally, we must build the capacity of our traffic officers. And we must also come up with other services that can help. For example, as I'm speaking, for the first time in our history, Ghana is developing traffic integrated management system. See, we have a lot of ICT, sit-alone system. Some are DVLA, some are NIC, some are National Identification Authority. We have detection system, cameras all over. How are they talking to each other? Because police don't need to deploy this. All police needs is to integrate so that when these cameras, for example, detect an offender running red light, ours is that we should be at the back office. We should be able to know who owns the car and who is driving instantly in real time to cut interference to ensure that people sit on them. And these are the things that my desk is supporting within the department to ensure that we deliver such services. And so, in a nutshell, if you look at my department, it is a microcosm of what the MTTD stands for. We enforce the law. We don't only enforce any. Through enforcement, there might be incidents of crashes we respond to, and outcome we share, and including court processes that we and all that. And in the end, we collaborate with other stakeholders to ensure that whatever that we have, we don't shield it. We share with it to impact on next steps and next countermeasures that may be independent of us, so that urban roads can have it, DVLA can have it, National Road Safety Authority can have it, the media can have it, and together we'll be able to also chart a course that can impact on public health and safety in terms of using the road.
So is it true that your responsibilities are shared with the National Road Safety Authority, and to what extent are these responsibilities shared?
All right. See, if you look at the history of Ghana, since the 1952 when the road traffic ordinance came, it was clear that delivering public health and safety on the road will not be one entity's responsibility. It's an area-wide, it's multi-agency, it's multi-departmental and multi-ministerial. And therefore, right from day one, Ghana anticipated Road Safety Committee, of which Police Commissioner was the chair, as is now even still being practiced in Rwanda. However, as time goes on, it was changed to VELT, and from Ministry of Interior, it was headed by Ministry of Transport, and now it has the National Road Safety Commission has now developed into National Road Safety Authority under Act 993 of 2019. And if you look into the Act, that is a major strategy to delivering public health and safety in the country. We see we have one, if you look at National Road Safety Authority Act, the board, Motor Traffic and Transport Department is represented on it. If you go on Driver and Vehicle License Authority Board and the Ministry of Transport, again, the Motor Traffic and Transport Director General is represented on it. Obviously, you also see other plethora of agencies has representing. Obviously, it means that Ghana's strategy is that one agency cannot do the work. So we, since time immemorial, has been sharing information with others, because when you talk about road safety, when you talk about road safety management everywhere in the world, it's about deployment of plethora or integrated measures that will promote safety. And therefore, others talk about 4 E's, others often talk about 5 that every country looks at. And that is where we play a major role, that you need engineering, construction road and all that. You need education, you need enforcement, you need emergency medical services. Now it is clear within the UN, the SDGs, that every country also need economic empowerment or the capacity to fund, because road safety is also activity-based, and therefore you can have a lot in your books, but if you don't have wherewithal, how will you be able to deliver safer road? How will you be able to deliver safer vehicle? How will you be able to deliver safer road users? How will you be able to deliver in terms of emergency medical services, the ambulances and all that? It is mostly, so it is a shared and collective responsibility. And therefore, police, we specialize in terms of traffic enforcement. We specialize in terms of detecting and arresting offenders. We specialize in terms of gathering evidence to prove that the person has contravened the law in terms of not caring for the vehicle, driving it dangerously, and leaving vehicle in a dangerous position, and not crossing the road appropriately, among others. And we also specialize in prosecuting of road motor offenders at motor courts and sharing same with others. And of course, we respond to accident scenes and deliver post-crash emergency services and investigation to ensure that people also get to know what is happening. And so in all these that we get, we gather data weekly, monthly, quarterly, biannually, and annually, and share with all entities, particularly the agency that is contracted by National Road Safety Authority to do scientific analysis of our data. I'm talking about Building and Road Research Institute of Ministry of Science. That also take over our data and churn out more scientific, because you realize that there are some of the accidents that may not be reported. And so research we've conducted will also bring on stream others that were not reported to police. And these are done. But in all, we share our information with others. And we sometimes do task force and move together on the road to ensure. For example, currently we are on the N6 between New Nsutem, near Bunso, and then Enyinam on the Accra-Kumasi highway. What is happening? Drivers are misbehaving. We have also seen that certain substandard speed ramps are constructed, impeding traffic and causing unnecessary congestion and inconvenience. We are collaborating with the road engineer in the eastern region to ensure that some of these speed ramps are removed, and police are also deployed so that drivers will also not take undue advantage and increase speed and endanger the lives of compatriots who happen to live by the road, so that we won't receive much of this bad news of pedestrian knockdown. So these are some of the things that we do and share. And so with road safety, we always, all the time, any data we have on behavior of Ghanaians, crash trends, how they are behaving, weekly, monthly, quarterly, we share it with them first. And we are always with them so that what is happening that Ghanaians need to know before 2 weeks to come, we go with them on our radio and everywhere, and they join us in all that we do. So if you see road safety, you see MTTD. And if you see MTTD, you see Motor Traffic and Transport Department. We are this coin of two sides of the same coin of Ghana in terms of road safety management.
And from all that you said, it does appear that the police does everything. Is there something that you don't do which the National Road Safety Authority does?
The National Road Safety upheld the Act 993, and their powers have been extended, if you look into it. And as a commission, theirs was that they wait for our data, because it is, road safety problems are influenced by human behavior. So, and based on the crash outcome, the road safety situation, so based on that, they will be able to draw their proactive programs. They were not reactive, very proactive, sensitizing, use those methods, creating awareness, sharing public information, and general road safety education.
Well, that's exactly what you're doing in the studio now.
That's why I said that we also share, because you see, there's a thin line. And that's why I gave a history that when you look at the history of Ghana, our forebears thought that the police at the time should chair the committee. But with time, it has moved, because we are specializing in more of enforcement. But you see, police is also structured on prevention. And that's why even the Constitution is clear. When you look at the chapter 15 and you discuss it clearly, you see that we prevent first. And if we are not able, we develop reactive strategies to detect, arrest, and prosecute. So prevention is one of the clarion objective of every police institution all over. And that's why everywhere in the world, when you have road safety, it is more linked with police. And that's why I mentioned that even when you go to Rwanda, they are still with the old strategy of Ghana. They have no move. Then the police commissioner is in charge of road safety. And I'm saying that there's a thin line. However, what is important is that the specialization, the emphasis. We are more, because all over the country as I'm speaking now, you see police all on the road. We have equipped them with, trained them, equipped them with gadgets to detect offenses and support same with evidence and proceed to court. And what I have with me in Kwesi, if I should let you know, from January to May, the main work we do, we have arrested road offenders to as many as 2,186 in January and May.
The whole country.
Yes, that's what we've been able to do, because the enforcement we are doing now is now physical. It's not all that efficient, but that is what we are doing now. With time, we move, very soon we'll be moving away to automation, so that will change. And even with this, we have been able to successfully to prosecute about 1,598. 8 are in jail for varying road traffic offenses, to change attitude, to try to prevent. And out of this, 863,000 Ghana cedis as court fines have been imposed on these offenders, and same has been paid into state coffers. This work we do, we detect a myriad of offenses. However, with this one, this same data, we share with road safety. And we all sit down and analyze to know what are the causes, the behaviors that are leading to these surge in crashes, these associated high deaths and injuries involving motorcycles. More motorcycles are getting crashed. For the first time, 538 Ghanaians who died in our history for the first 5 months died as a result of motorcycle-related injury. What can be done? And that's where road safety comes in. And then we subject this one to critical analysis to learn from other areas, quickly develop road communication strategy, the content, and then we go out. They go out there. Even going out there, we have to collaborate and move with them. And so they play a major role in terms of society. In fact, they do also conduct research. And I mentioned that when you give this raw data, they also subject it to further analysis through BRI. And they have contracted BRI, and they pay all that. And the outcome, when it comes, they share. And they also do a lot in terms of prevention. Currently, in this law that they have, the Ghana has mandated National Road Safety Authority, in addition to all that they are doing, to be reactive, so to issue notices and punish transport operators who don't comply with standards, and to have inspectors, not police, but inspectors who ensure that transport owners, particularly those who are operating commercial transport, GPRTU, Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, VIPs, VVIP, Imperial, PEGA, STC, and Metromas and all that, comply with standards in terms of operation. And they are building their capacity with their LI to come on stream. So clearly, because you see that they have their clear mandate. And our mandate also somehow, also in certain areas, we cross paths, but all in the interest of promoting, increasing the sense of the problems we have on our road, and the fact that it is a challenge to individuals, families, communities, the country, and the world and Africa at large, in terms of the incidents and of road crashes that is decimating lives and destroying businesses and all that. So that is all about that. Police cannot do it alone. Road safety cannot do it alone. And that's why, for example, sometimes even road safety is coming up with collaborating with the media and the Arrive Alive and the Drive Safe. And police will come up, war on indiscipline, name and shape. All that, for example, road safety cannot do it alone. Police, we need the media. And so they bring out some of these projects in order to whip up and garner the available scarce resources so that we optimally use it to support road safety and bring it to the front burner of public discourse.
Well, viewers, we've been talking to Superintendent Alexander Kweku Obeng, who is the Director of Research and Education of the MTTD now. And we're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, I'd like to find out from him what accounts for the increasing number of deaths on our road. What is the cause, and perhaps what can be done about it? Short break.
Ben, that prayer, Yatra Mr. Kill. Ah, strong shame if you can.
Oh, Kusia, a member draw, Ghana Limited for Akofaba, the Piasso Bonitisu, and they said, because so much Madame for Adolf. And what Trevor said, a draw a Mr. Kill, Nico on her, and he said, no, no, so
it's since time I have 1 million, and running down and put the service of your back.
Mr. Kill. Mr. Kill. Yeah, but don't let any say that here. Mr. Kill. You should back up. And not the call. You know, maybe the men come out. Mr. Kill. Oh, yeah, Kill back up.
I give you all a boy could give you.
Well, welcome back to Talk Time, and we are in conversation with Superintendent Alexander Kweku Obeng from the MTTD. Now, sir, you've spoken about the increasing number of deaths on our road. What accounts for that?
All right. I think, first of all, if you permit me, I will let viewers appreciate the road safety situation that is confronting us. And then we all establish whether it's a problem or not, whether it is perplexing or not, and whether it needs, it has inadequate solution, therefore we all have to be hands on deck on it. And I want to be very recent. January to May is critical for us. And you observe that from January to May this year, is 5 months, and I've compared it with the same period last year. And even when you compare it with 2019, not much will change. There seems to be a surge. What is it? That 6,789 preventable crashes have occurred on our roads in Ghana. And in the process, our analysis have shown that 11,676 vehicles of all models are involved. Of these 11,000 plus vehicles, the lead is the private vehicles of all categories, amounting to 4,864, and then commercial vehicles of all categories, following with 4,147, and motorcycle of all categories following with 2,665. But in terms of the deaths, these vehicles have impacted on 1,250, and of this, motorcycle is a lead killer. Though fewer, has killed 538, followed by commercial, has killed 449, and then privates have killed 263 within this within 5 months, and it has injured 6,967. In terms of pedestrians, the 3-user class have killed 352 pedestrians, and when we did further analysis in terms of gender, you observe that of the 1,250 deaths, though in Ghana, the last census, if we are 100, 51 are female. So within the population, we expect that more should die than the few. However, because that's not what we see, of the death, and the data is showing all the time, and currently it's not different, that of the 1,250 deaths, 212 are women who are in majority. Though one death is one too many, but if 1,250 have died, and majority that causes the population are few, you must credit them. As compared to me and you, we are few, the male. But we constitute 1,038. Either you are a pedestrian, or you are a driver, or you are a motorbike, or you are a passenger. We 1,038. And that is the road safety problems that confront. And of course, of the 1,250, it means that if 538 died as a result of motorcycle-related injury, you can make it simpler for Ghanaians that, or viewers, that if you are 100 in Ghana and 100 died through road crash, about 47 were killed as a result of motorcycle. And that's all these data I've given is above 20% increase over the same period last year. And it is a big problem. However, the reasons why these incidents, the reasons are the good old same problems we keep on talking about, behaviors. Now, I've mentioned either is the road, either is the vehicle, either is the human being. And I've said that of the 100 crashes, you do analysis, you observe that about 90 could be attributed all the time to human behavior. But now another issue that trend that is coming, which I think we must look at as a country, is that there seem to be more incidents of head-on collision on some of roads that we pride ourselves as Trans-West Africa Highway. See, we've been from the days of the secondary school in geography, we're talking about it, Flao to Elubo. It's Trans-West African Highway. The one from Tema through Kintampo to Paga, the one that enters, what do you call, Golu, the one that also go through, you were thinking that they are all Trans-West Africa. Yes, but if it's a Trans-West Africa highway, is that the highway that we see elsewhere in other jurisdictions, even in Africa, that we have left it since 1957 as single carriages, and traffic volumes are increasing. Ghana, by close of this year, we will register no less than 150,000 vehicles. And vehicle population is increasing. And traffic volumes on these transit routes are increasing. Trade facilitation is ongoing. Port expansions are going on. Nocturnal movement are going on. Heavily loaded trucks, transit vehicles are in circulation, and they are on our corridor. And we are sharing same with compatriots in this country, particularly from Paga to Accra. The road is traversing Upper East, Northern region, Northeast region, Savannah region, Bunu East region, Ashanti region, Eastern region, and Greater Accra region. And this road is serving Ghana from Accra, the NC from Circle, through to Paga. And it is so single. And people, the traffic volumes are increasing. And we hear all the time that at night, head-on collision, 60 dead, 65 dead, half bent. And we are so thinking of what? We think that where these sections, the road corridors are dualized on town roads, there are no head-on collision, and people are not dying. Where the dual carriages are needed most, which are not done, that is where the crashes are occurring. For how long shall we wait? For example, that we will sit aloof for Accra to Elubo, still single. Accra to Aflao, still single. Accra through Kumasi, Kintampo to Paga, still single. When these are the spine of road that fuels and integrate Africa through West Africa and Ghana. And so it is impacting, and I think the earlier the state invests in dualizing these roads to protect life within the Republic and beyond. But again, how is it that this day and age we still have difficulty as a republic, as a country, in responding to emergency when there is a breakdown? How long? Knowing very well that it is not only economic when it delays and it impacts, it is also safety. When you leave a heavily loaded truck, which mostly get broken down because they traverse long distances, and it is difficult to remove, and you leave it there, there's likelihood of a crash, head-on collision, people running under and dying, and we see it more often. And towing has become a big albatross on our conscience. I think that in our lifetime,
we'll come to towing.
and I'm talking about these contributed one way or the other systemically. Again, the human behavior as it pertains to drivers, passengers, pedestrians cannot be overemphasized. For example, for how long shall road safety authority and police sensitize and police arrest jaywalkers when, for example, the community members have agitated for footbridges on JJ Rollins Avenue from what do you call Firestone, Zongo Junction, Reese Junction, SDA, and then West Africa Secondary School, what do you call Denta. And they fought for it with their blood, and same has been provided. Using it has become a problem. Let me take this opportunity to acknowledge this, the immense admission and actually deploying the necessary countermeasures on that corridor to force situationally road users to use the footbridge and paving, removing the gridlock of traffic on Medina Delta Road by the current regional minister, Mr. Honorable Kote, and the support that is receiving from the stakeholders. I think if same can be repeated, it will go a long way in reducing impact of crashes on pedestrians, because over 300 died within 3 months. And of course, excessive speeding, and the fact that the capacity of the state in arresting human behavior in terms of infracting on the road has also been a challenge. That is why in our lifetime and my lifetime now, I'm seeing Ghana rallying to get ICT integration system in Ghana, so that we will have the support to detect in real time and identify who is causing what, and to issue notices and for people to be forthcoming, so that one challenge that traffic enforcement is receiving in the African space, and Ghana is no exception, is interference. And that if you continue to adopt the good old deploy to stand, look, see, stop, arrest, take to station, there is always a likelihood of interference. There's always the likelihood of a recalcitrant repeat offender who may cause crash being, left to go back on the road without deterrence. And no wonder recently when UN met in Stockholm and reviewed the ongoing road safety, a decade of action for road safety, it came out clear that countries should adopt safe system approach. One principle is adopt this system of ICT, deploy it, let police back off the road a bit, traffic, and look at the back office, detect and issue traffic notices as is done elsewhere. And it will increase sense of detection, sense of apprehension, and if sanction follows, people will refrain from committing these offenses that leads to these crashes. We have delayed a lot as a country, and I'm happy that in my lifetime I've seen that we want to be in a hurry. The earlier we do it, the better. Otherwise, this good old sense of excessive speeding, running red light, stopping where you're not supposed to stop, leaving vehicle in dangerous position, not doing roadworthy, not doing insurance, having your own way, and putting ugly lights on your vehicle, blaring acoustic sirens, and creating all leading to crashes will sustain. And no wonder we have this on our hand. And these within it are solutions. And I believe that as we move along, the year today may not be the same.
Now, viewers, we're talking to Superintendent Alexander Kwesi Obeng, and he's the Director of Research and Education of the MTTD. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I'd like to go back to an issue he has been raising from the very beginning, the issue of towing trucks. Raise a few questions about that, and then we can move on to the criminals on the road, those who are hijacking vehicles and so on. What is the police doing about it? So, short break.
Oh, it's incredible! Bang on target!
Well, welcome back to Talk Time, and we are in conversation with Superintendent Alexander Kwesi Obeng, and he is head of research and education of the MTTD. Now, sir, this question of towing, should we be depending on the police or should we be depending on the private sector? What is the formula which will work?
I think, first of all, towing is nothing but every country having a capacity to remove obstructions that may interfere with traffic, leading to preventable crashes, i.e. broken down vehicles or accidental vehicles. It may be a fallen tree on the way, among others. And in Ghana, our strategy has been that Ghana government is supposed to provide the towing trucks so that police will be equipped with it, so that when a vehicle breaks down, we will go and remove it at a fee. When the accident occurs, it will be removed at a fee. Over the years, government has not been able to deliver that service and that equipment to traffic police. And therefore, all these years, traffic police have relied on external entities. In the past, we received some, I think 2 or 3 of such vehicles from National Road Safety Authority. That was in the past. That, of course, you know, cannot solve the problem of breaking down across the country. Again, private entities have also been delivering the same service, so that police are also been collaborating with same, so that when vehicles break down, we call on them to support us if they have that capacity. Otherwise, we are the beck and call of nature. And it is in this light that when the 1974 LI was being reviewed in 2012, Ghana took a different position, that it is clear that the state cannot provide the needed equipment for traffic police to use. Therefore, as is done elsewhere, the private entities must be supported to come in. And when you look into our LI, we regulation 102 to 105 together, of the LI 2020. So it's obvious that towing service providers have to be certified by Ministry of Transport. Okay. And when they are certified and regulations are put in place to protect their investment, then the private entity or the towing service providers can come in and support. And so government role was to ensure that there is financial assurance. And then those who have the towing service, what do you call, motivation among others, who jump in to maybe go and see their bankers to see how they can invest in that area. And basically what government was also thought of doing was that, yes, government is who, all of us, so then there will be premium on all vehicle owners to like get some resources from vehicle owners anytime they are registering their car to use it within the republic, or they are renewing their roadworthy to use it in the republic periodically, so that they pay per the capacity of the vehicle. The owner will contribute something like a welfare fund, and that welfare fund to assist towing service providers to remove such broken down vehicles was also called road safety fee, and that was it. I think Ghanaians began, poo-pooing it, and government pulled back, and this is where we are. And that is it.
But doesn't it, of course, that is not your responsibility,
yes,
but
so
wouldn't it make a lot more sense if government is charging a levy for road safety,
yes,
for government agencies like the police to use it to equip themselves, rather than to hand it over to private entrepreneurs?
I understand the concept was not to hand over money to private toll service providers, but that government will be in, agencies as we are talking about will be in to regulate it, will ensure that the services that is needed by police, because police will also be collaborating with them to deliver it. So when police say let's move, ours is that they are there, we are moving with them. But to make sure that they are there is why this strategy came in, so that when they move with us, there is a short fund to pay them. You see, so when
so why can't you have your own equipment so that when you move, you are not moving with others, but you are moving with your own?
That's why I said that all these years, I think government have not shown interest to provide SIM. I think you have mentioned all this. That's what's supposed to be. There isn't, and we also know that there's not only government that have resources, and that's why even in Ghana we have PPP Act. We say government cannot do it all. And for me, if you ask me, I don't see why government should go and buy towing trucks and give it to police and add it to our effort to towing vehicles on the road all over. No. That police cannot. Police is saddled. So towing of vehicles is normally not done necessarily by police. Only collaborate. Call. Let's go. You see, go and move it. It is a whole industry, and those who have the expertise, let them handle it. We will collaborate. We will ensure that anytime there is accident, they are part of the emergency. We call them, we go. But that service, it has proven beyond doubt that government has not been able to do it, and everywhere it's not government. That government only facilitate. And the facilitation is that there should be a system of assurance that as police is collaborating, the vehicles are available. The required vehicles that government said this certified towing service provider, bring them, you have brought them. That it is there. When we say we are moving, it cannot be that the car is not available. And when we have delivered it, you can submit an invoice that is clear, certified, that you have delivered a service. In the end, we expect that when government is able to certify and enter into contracts with them, the vehicles will be available at where they are supposed to be. We can all rise to go and remove vehicles when they break down in time, and also help us to get all these materials that are on the way so that people will not run into them. And in the end, these people are assured of payment. Otherwise, how will they tell us, how are they going to get the money to the pay as you go? Pay as you go has not been able. And it was a nice strategy. I think there was something as to do with communication or whatever. Otherwise, I still stand that it is the only surest strategy that government needs to mobilize the resources that are bound in the private area. Like, look at this place. Can we only rely on GBC? No, you only have to create a legal framework, a system, a regulation that will allow media proliferation, so that when we have many, you can choose, and efficiency and effectiveness can be achieved. And that is what we need there. Government, nowhere in the world has government operating towing. And until we have hands on and allow private to come in, and with their bankers and all that to come in to bring, these resources available to us so that we can call them and move with them. Police doesn't have to own it. You can see, we don't need to own it. But private entities must do it because it is, I said, it's a whole industry and it is an area that government can explore to increase opportunity for the young ones to work. You don't let private entities have it. Why should government take over that? So that impound services will be delivered by tourist service providers, mechanics will be there, the drivers will be there, and it is rest stops, and they have all these. It is income generating, and it will create job. And you don't need police. And in fact, to be frank with you, you get to police elsewhere, it doesn't work anyway. So it shouldn't be a discussion at all. And that's why in the law it is there. The only issue which is bothering Ghanaians is that how much should an owner pay? And the same owner not paying is getting his vehicle crashed. He's dying on the road. You see, so I think that the earlier we take a second look at it because we're in a rush and make sure we have a tolling system, the better, because blocking down vehicles is killing a lot of Ghanaians, particularly at night when we're still battling with no money and our roads that are supposed to be dualized are single and headlong are killing us. Best tire and people are dying. People get tired, they drive off and they meet you and they kill you. Your vehicle get broken down the hill and people run on it and die, and it is common. And I think that one solution is that you don't only look at where the crash last occurred, but look at the system entirely and don't blame human being, but look at your system, invest in it, because road safety is activity based. It is an investment. And that's why the CSE is being forcefully pushed, that you need economic muscle and you need political will and goodwill. And be bold to bring such initiatives on board. In the end, people may talk about that. I'm telling you, the road safety space across the world, any country with that capacity of removing broken down vehicles when it's happening on trade facilitation, and we have a lot of our compatriots who are not blessed with the sea and they travel thousands of kilometers to the Gulf of Guinea to our harbor in Tema and Takoradi, cutting their goods throughout, and high occupancy buses are traversing the same road within. Such countries are cursed with continuous head-on collision if they don't invest in dualization and towing service delivery, partnering the private.
Well, viewers, we're talking to Superintendent Alexander Kweku Obeng, and we're talking about road safety. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, very, very briefly, we would like to discuss Tagri on our roads. Tagri on our roads, we like to discuss all these people who are seizing vehicles on the roads and so on. What are you doing about that? So short break.
Hello?
Oh, sound.
Okay, wait a minute. Why? My wife comes and send a message you. Hello? What's happened?
It's a child who's will be a quiet say what? I dare say,
we signed for a fair. I'm so young. No, I've not tested messages here. And now, officer, so I'm still a timer. She says, I
mean, so we a guy manu, and may young who could look ra. And also wants a family drilling company limited for Kana.
What's the name? Family Drilling Company Limited.
Here to borehole, biofuel, biogas, swimming pool, plumbing works in Naso, ye be, Frey 0240 333 111 and NASA 0244 144 822.
Miampa and you want swimming pool on me fee. Me want to will be BA. Family drilling now was family drilling.
What fashion yala shit?
Me out
Well, welcome to Talk Time. We are talking to Superintendent Alexander Kweku Obeng from the MTTD, and he is the head of research and education. Now, sir, there have been many reports. I mean, recently there have been reports about the Jimpa Road, the Jimpa Road, people hijacking cars and so on. The Temamoto Way has been declared unsafe and so on. What are you doing in order to assure the public of some sense of safety?
All right, thank you very much. I wouldn't pretend to be the director of operations. I'm purely traffic department working under my commission. However, as a senior police officer, and with the little information I have, and these incidences are happening, our strategies are triggered. And we are also in collaboration with other stakeholders. First of all, the agenda to put situational crime prevention devices at strategic location is being intensified. I mean, the street lights. We need to intensify it, and our patrols are being intensified. Elsewhere, on most of our highways, outside this the capital, the distances are being reduced, the roadblocks, snap checks, particularly at night. The issue of deploying sting officers on vehicles are ongoing. Those particularly who are embarked on intercity journeys are armed and are supporting our transport operators. What is also required that residents of peri-urban and urban Ghana should also adhere to, particularly the tidbits that comes from the police commands all over, particularly in Accra, that you try as much as possible when you are in your vehicle, avoid displaying precious articles, put such away, and if you are in your vehicle, you try as much as possible to also not roll down your glass and among others. And as much as possible, we should be each other's keeper and try as much as possible to inform police and not try to solve it when it is occurring all the time. For example, we have thrown out our emergency numbers out there. That 122, the emergency, the 191, the 18555, and then the back office line 0302 773 906 are emergency hotlines that Ghanaians can call. And anytime you are in a community and you see unusual movement of visitors who may be lurking on motorbikes and all that, be interested and approach and to raise alarm. And of course, when alarm is raised and we are also coming to support, we should be mindful that we are each other's keeper. Our responsibility is to the extent of apprehending, not lynching. And these are some of the things that I know the administration, through the operational units, are deploying. And we pray that police alone cannot do it. It also takes the forceful support of the community members. And we have been receiving same, and we hope that they sustain it to support Ghana Police Service. Thank you very much.
Well, sir, thank you very much. Thank you so very much for coming to the studios of Pan-African Television. Now, viewers, on behalf of our producer, George Vinay, and the technical team, the directors, the cameramen, and all of that, we'd like to say a big thank you for staying with us. Stay with this station, because now it is the biggest television platform in Ghana, perhaps in Africa. Stay with us. Bye-bye until we meet again next week. Bye-bye.